Hello, it is Wednesday, 17th, 2026 at the time of this recording. I am Luther Bravo, and today I will be discussing the shootings under the DHS, so that would include ICE and Border Patrol since September 2025 and Operation Metro Surge. During the summer of 2025, Trump's budget allocated an additional $75 billion to ICE and $66 billion to Border Patrol. This will be important in context for how these large-scale operations are able to happen. Since September 2025, DHS has shot and killed 5 people on U.S. soil. Silvero Villegas Gonzalez on September 12th, 2025 in Franklin Park, Illinois. Isaias Sanchez Barboza, December 11th, 2025 in Starr County. Keith Porter Jr. on December 31st, 2025 in Los Angeles, California. Renee Good on January 7th, 2026 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Alex Preddy on January 24th, 2026 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Since September 2025, 9 people have been shot and wounded by DHS. Myanmar Martinez on October 4th, 2025 in Chicago, Illinois. Carlitos Ricardo Piedras on October 22nd, 2025 in Los Angeles, California. Jose Garcia Sorto on October 29th, 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. Carlos Jimenez on October 30th, 2025 in Ontario, California. Tiago Andre Sosa Martins on December 24th, 2025 in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Luis David Nino Moncada on January 8th, 2026 in Portland, Oregon. Yorlenis Bezabeth Zambarano Contreras on January 8th, 2026 in Portland, Oregon, excuse me. Julio Cesar Sosa Celias on January 14th, 2026 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Patrick Gary Shiegel on January 27th, 2026 in Avicava, Arizona. It's important to note that out of these 14 shootings, only 4 have named agents or officers. So that would be CP Agent Charles Exam, who injured Myanmar Martinez, ICE Officer Brian Pekaleas, who killed Keith Porter Jr. He was off duty at the time. ICE Officer Jonathan Ross, who killed Renee Good, and CP Agent, Border Patrol Agent Jesus Ocha, and Border Patrol Officer Raimundo Gutierrez, who killed Alex Preddy. Now, there was a government shutdown from October 1st, 2025 to November 12th, 2025. As a result, there is no data for the shootings for the month of November, and there is limited data for October and December as well. Operation Metro Surge did start in December 2025. The original plan was to target undocumented immigrants in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, respectively. Later, this expanded to the entire state of Minnesota. We know that over 3,000 people have been arrested during Operation Metro Surge. These arrests include justified lawful arrest and also include arrest of peaceful protesters, American citizens, and legal residents who were just suspected of being undocumented. And it's important to note that just because we know that there has been a lack of transparency around these arrests from DHS, and we know that the tactics and behaviors of ICE and Border Patrol during these operations have been extreme and in many cases unjustified. During Operation Metro Surge, again, in Minneapolis. Renee Good was murdered as she was trying to drive away from ICE officers on January 7th, 2026 in Minneapolis. Alex Preddy was murdered as he was trying to protect a woman from ICE officers on the streets of Minneapolis on January 24th, 2026. So it's important to note that after these killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy became national news, there has been a change in going around public sentiment towards ICE and these mass deportation operations. The widespread backlash, which has led to the ending of Operation Metro Surge and the removal of Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino. The White House border czar, Tom Homan, announced on February 12th, 2026, that the operation was over. However, it would take a full week to withdraw. Agents and officers from where they're deployed now. He also stated that an unspecified size of immigration officers would remain in the state. So, although the murders of Renee Good and Alex Preddy did spark national outrage, there are still many stories that are quickly being forgotten about that I will mention here. So we have Julio Cesar Sosa Cereales, who was shot in the leg and wounded by ICE on January 14th, 2026 in Minneapolis. 2 agents have been placed on administrative leave as the investigation continues. The Jackson family had to receive emergency medical treatment after a tear gas canister exploded under their car as they were leaving their 11-year-old's basketball game. Their 6-month-old was in the car at the time and went unconscious, who had to be resuscitated by their mother. That was January 14th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Alberto Constanda Mondragon was taken into the hospital with severe injuries, including several skull fractures, while handcuffed. ICE claimed that he ran into a wall. Medical experts say that, it's very unlikely that he would be able to injure himself to such an extent by running into a wall while handcuffed. This was on January 8th, 2026 in St. Paul, Minnesota. Juan Carlos was recorded on video being pinned down by several agents, while another agent kneed him at least 5 times. This was on January 9th, 2026 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So there have not been any recorded shootings since January 27th, 2026 of Patrick Gary Schlegel, which was 3 days after the murder of Alex Preddy on January 24th, 2026. It is less likely that these operations have become less violent and more likely that they are being suppressed and or going unreported. The unjustified killing of Alex Preddy did bring Operation Metro Surge to an end. The state-funded killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, alongside the public suffering of the people in Minnesota, have brought a sharper light to what is happening, not just in Minnesota, but around the country, and has brought our country to a bit of a standstill, as we are currently in a partial shutdown as Congress decides how to fund DHS and if they even should. What has happened so publicly in Minnesota, again, is bringing the entire country to a standstill as everyone tries to figure out what to do, how to keep their residents safe, whether or not to support these actions on a local level or not, and of course, funding it. A lot of the information that we know has come out because people have been advocating for themselves, for their loved ones, for their neighbors. A lot of this information has come out because of bystanders recording what's going on and posting it to social media. A lot of this information first was broke by everyday citizens, residents, people like me and you, and local news, independent journalists, and then, of course, getting backed up by once becoming national news, larger publications as well. All of the sources will be listed in the description. The DHS related death and injuries Google Sheet will also be linked in the description. All of this information can be found at bystanderimpact.com. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.